excited to share some new programming ideas that we have to help serve our 4-H kids that are interested in dogs. And super thankful that Dr. Beck actually approached me about this whole idea and is supportive of it. So couldn't happen without him. And then we have Leah Haxton is with us tonight too to help explain some of the enrollment information we get a little bit further into this webinar. Again, this is recorded, and so if you know folks that are interested and couldn't make it, they can certainly reach out to me and I can provide the recording, and I can certainly throw it up on my YouTube channel as well. But we'll go ahead and get started. While we are getting going though, while people enter the webinar, I'd be really curious if you could, in the chat, tell us what county you're from. And then I'm also gonna ask if you are a parent or a volunteer, just so we get a little bit better sense, or a youth, you could be a youth as well. So a little bit better sense of who we have on the call with us today. So we'll go ahead and jump right in. Theoretically, if the buttons make it go forward. So I wanted to definitely maybe introduce myself. So I am Dr. Chris Heine. I'm actually the equine extension specialist for Oklahoma. So if you've encountered me before, you've seen me on the horse side and doing a lot of youth activities, horse show, judging contests, etc. But if you've been around me personally, then you probably know that I'm a big dog nut. So I am actually a pretty avid agility competitor, and these are the two of the 3 dogs I'm currently running right now. These photos were actually 2 years ago at AKC National. So I have Border Collies and Australian Shepherds and do quite a bit of agility training. And so that is, from that standpoint, is why Dr. Beck asked me to kind of see what I could do to help out creating some new opportunities for kids. So my day job, horses, passion is dogs. So I also, for parents that might be thinking about, why do I want to really get involved with this potentially? And I always give these statistics to my college students because I actually do teach a companion animal management class. But essentially, the majority of people in the US own a pet. So 70% of US homes contain a pet. The pet industry is a very large industry. And if you're thinking about careers and employment opportunities, it's estimated that the employment opportunities are going to grow at 11% a year. So that's pretty good growth potential if you're kind of thinking about what that may look like. The other piece, again, just to kind of talk about that it's expected the pet industry is going to continue to grow. There doesn't seem to be any signs of this slowing down. As soon as a lot of kids are out of the house, they're going to get their own pet. So we feel that it's a pretty good idea to get them understanding care and management early before they may be taking that step themselves. And we also know that people are starting to be more and more willing to spend more money on their pets. So again, I really like to reiterate to parents and to youth that if they truly do have a passion about the pet industry, it is a viable career option. And this program is a great way to start to explore those opportunities. So super thankful to have the opportunity to bring this to Oklahoma youth. So kind of what we're doing here was based on a needs assessment that we did earlier this spring. And so we sent out some surveys. Hopefully those on the call had an opportunity to weigh in. So we distributed it through the weekly news and social media, trying to make sure as many folks were able to respond to that as possible. So we did have 197 people responded, so a pretty good sample size to tell us what people are interested in doing. 135 of the respondents had a child that was interested in participating but hadn't yet enrolled in the dog project. And only a very small number had actually selected the dog project through 4-H. So seems like a great pool of potential folks to get get started in the dog project. Currently, what we have on the books officially, as far as if you look at the rules and regs of what existing 4-H programs were before we started, we had showmanship and obedience. And when I asked who is participating in those activities, that was 0. So clearly it means that maybe we need some different type of activities for folks to get involved in. So I essentially allowed people to have a list of kind of traditional things that you see around the country and in Oklahoma to essentially rank what their highest interest was. And so we let people rank from rally, tricks, flyball, agility, therapy dogs, etc., to see what people are most interested in. So I always want to say that kind of what we're doing was really based on Oklahoma families' opinions about what they wanted to participate in. Otherwise, I would say we would just do agility. But I wanted to make sure that this is something that all the families, or the majority of families, were interested in. So what pulled to the top was rally. So that was the event that most people had some interest in. Manners training was pretty strong after that, and then trick training was at the third essentially level. And so I'll actually talk about manners and trick training a little bit later, but the focus of a lot of what we're going to do tonight is talking about a rally, because again, that's what kind of presented as the highest level of interest. So the nice thing, I was kind of interested in how much experience folks actually had going into this. And so it was almost 50-50 that some of our families had some dog training experience with others that have not. So kind of a pretty even split between, and again, kind of a little bit of the flip of the numbers of 76 families had not gone to training classes, but 65 had. So good potential to get people interested in some new avenues and jumping into a little bit of dog training in hopefully a nice, easy way. One area that I think we're going to work on trying to provide a list for families, and so certainly I'll be reaching out to some of my dog sports friends that are out there, is making sure that families and youth do know what training, schools, classes, volunteers, etc. are out there. So if you are one of those happy volunteers on this call tonight, we'll be trying to gather up some information for people to say, you know, here's what's available in your area, here's who's willing to do classes for youth, etc. So we're going to try to grow that resource bank so people know kind of where to reach out to. I also asked how likely were people to want to compete. And so 76% were highly or likely wanted to have some sort of competition. So again, this kind of shows that competitive aspect of dog sports is important. So we're going to try to accommodate not only educational opportunities, but again, giving our 4-Hers ways to showcase what they have done through their work. I did want to mention that there were I asked about other non-competition activities that people were interested in doing. And so those of you that are leaders or volunteers, the one that rose to the top was volunteer work. So definitely the families are interested in giving back, which I think is fantastic, because that's really what 4-H should also incorporate, is that community service. I mean, it's part of the pledge, right? And then the other activities people were interested in were Quiz Bowl and Skillathon contests. So those are not in the works right now, but those may be future areas of interest that we may pursue. So I'm going to play a video. So make sure that all my optimization is here. Close that down. So we are going to start with rally. So
welcome to AKC.
Can everybody hear the sound? Okay.
This fun and exciting sport challenges dog and handler teams to move through a course of numbered signs that display different skills they need to perform together. AKC Rally is all about teamwork. It offers an exciting challenge for dogs and their handlers in a relaxed atmosphere. Through training for and competing in AKC Rally, you'll discover an activity to do with your dog that has many benefits. Your dog's focus and obedience behaviors will improve. It will enhance your bond and build your dog's confidence. And finishing a course offers a great sense of accomplishment. People of all ages can participate in AKC Rally, regardless of any physical limitations. AKC Rally trials are open to all dogs 6 months or older, both purebreds or mixed breeds, that have received an AKC number. There are 5 levels of rally competition that progress in difficulty, from novice and intermediate, where skills are performed on leash, to advanced, excellent, and master classes, where skills are performed off leash. All courses are designed by AKC Rally judges. This means that every time you participate, the course provides a new and unique challenge. Teams follow a course of numbered signs and perform the rally skills specified on each one. At the novice level, there are 10 to 15 signs. Some typical beginning rally skills include 270-degree right turn, serpentine weave once, call front, return to heel, handler-to-dog communication is encouraged in AKC Rally. While touching their dog isn't allowed, handlers can talk, clap their hands, pat their legs, and use hand signals to praise and provide encouragement. As teams progress to the higher AKC Rally classes, the number of signs on the course increase. At the excellent and master levels, handlers may only use verbal encouragement. At the more advanced classes, exercises can include about U-turn, about turn right, side-by-side 360-degree left circle. Dogs and their handlers are judged by how well they perform each skill as a team. It is very easy to get started with AKC Rally. As a first step, you should attend an AKC Rally trial. See firsthand what to expect and experience the fun and camaraderie of trials. Taking an AKC Rally class is a great way to learn the rally skill signs and for your dog to gain some practical obedience training. Contact your local AKC club or dog training facility to find out about upcoming classes. All the AKC Rally signs and videos that show how to perform each skill are available at akc.org/rally under exhibitor resources, so training can easily begin at home. No specialized equipment is needed to get started. This entry-level companion sport is ideal for youth groups and junior handlers too. In fact, youth participants who earn an AKC Rally title will receive a certificate, and this achievement will count toward the AKC Junior Recognition Program. AKC Rally showcases your dog's talents and the teamwork between you. You'll not only gain a stronger bond, but also receive great preparation for AKC obedience and agility competition. Plus, many people form lifelong friendships with their fellow competitors. To learn more about AKC Rally, visit akc.org/rally today.
So I played this video. Obviously, we're having our own version of this, but it kind of does show you a little bit about what Rally is and kind of that it is a great entry point that's pretty easy to set up and do. So we'll talk a little bit more about how that's going to look here going forward. I also wanted to show you, this won't take very long, but this is kind of the higher end of Rally, so you can see some more advanced skills. This dog is in Masters, so this is a dog performing off leash. So if you've seen obedience, this has more elements to it. So the dogs spin and do different things and go sideways. So it's a little bit more of a fun. If you've ever done obedience, it's pretty structured and like marchy, and Rally does have kind of some fun elements to it. And essentially the handler's just going through these signed course. So every cone has a sign on it. And so they're really a lot of unique skills that you can teach the dog. So just kind of a demo of what a master's dog would actually look like. Yes, you did. Good girl. Okay. So yeah, just a little bit more of kind of some fun elements twirling around and different things like that. But that's further down the line. So I just thought that it'd be fun for people to see where we could go. So introducing our version. So this is going to be the Oklahoma 4-H Rally Dog. So we are starting actually at a level below AKC's novice. So within AKC or the American Kennel Club, dogs would start participating at novice. But we're trying to make this very youth friendly so that they're able to get started and have some success kind of early on. So these are the levels that we currently have, and we'll go through resources. Also, if at any point in time through this presentation, if you have a question, just go ahead and type it in the chat, and we'll go ahead and answer that for you. Okay, so who can compete? Obviously, you have to be enrolled in 4-H, and so everybody remember enrollment starts again on August 1st for the next 4-H year. Youth are allowed to have more than one dog. So it's kind of like the horses. You can show more than one horse, but a dog cannot have more than one youth. Okay, so the whole family can't all show the same dog. So every kid would have to have their own dog. So no sharing of the dogs. However, because this is kind of normal, what happens within dog families, dogs can be previously trained. So let's say your 4-H'er is a senior in high school. They've trained and competed with Lucky, and they graduate. Lucky can now be handled and competed with a younger member. So it's not a lifetime assignment. So it is possible that kids again can show dogs that have been previously trained, but the dog does have to be shown at the correct level. And so we'll talk about that a little bit. So we are going to be using the Danish system. So essentially to kind of show the levels of achievement of the youth. So the dogs will be scored. We'll get into that a little bit more, but essentially within a lot of dog events, our goal is always to kind of get titles and move up through the ranks to the higher levels. And so for our purposes, if a dog achieves a blue, or essentially gets a score of 85 or better, they can go ahead and advance up. If you're familiar with dog events and dog shows, a lot of times that's three legs to get a title. But I actually dropped it a little bit because I was concerned that the youth wouldn't have enough opportunities, and we'll talk about that as we go, to be able to test those skills within our 4-H system. But we'll kind of take it as we go here, or 2 reds, and so that's kind of how we have that listed right now to move up a level. So the nice thing about Rally is that there's a lot of resources out there. So there's actually lots of different actions that you're actually going to teach the dog. Oops, it went backwards on me there. So the Rally signs, I'm just going to click on this here really quick. So this is a PDF that I'll provide links to, and we actually have that on our website, which you'll see in a minute. But these are the signs that actually will be on the posts or the cones. And then there's a description of what the youth has to do. And so this one is pretty simple. Right turn, you turn 90 degrees to the right. About turn 180 degrees to the right. So they start pretty simple, and then they get more complicated. So essentially, as the team advances in training, the signs that are possible are going to get more and more complicated. But this is a really easy reference so that they match what the sign tells you to do with what you're actually asked to do. So again, this is on our website that we'll show you here in a bit. Jump back to this. Okay. Another really good resource too, I didn't link to it, but there's a site that's called K9Rally.com, and that's also a really, really good site. So that has a lot of sources that you can look on. And then this is a really good website as well. I'm going to jump this one open. So AKC has a YouTube site that essentially for every sign, they show how you do it. So this one's pretty simple. It's just the start sign, right? So start. But it's a whole series of videos that go through all of the different signs. So like you can go to the novice signs, there's a playlist. And so like, let's go through something a little bit more exciting. So here is a sign that says halt sitting down. That one seems pretty self-explanatory, but then there'll be a video of a dog and handler actually doing this sign. So here's the dog coming. They're going to halt, sit, and then ask the dog to down. And so this is a really, really handy reference for the youth to figure out what actually am I being asked to do. So here's just an example of a left turn. So seems like it's pretty straightforward. The dog and handler is going to approach the sign, and then they're going to do a 360 turn to the left. So again, this is a really, really good set of videos to help explain what they're actually going to be looking for on course. Again, if you have any questions, please ask. We also, thank you, Dr. Beck, who helped, and I believe it was Annika that helped create the website for us. So there's Mr. Torque again. So if you haven't visited, because you didn't know that it existed yet, there is now a dog project page. And then right now it has information about Rally. And so your rule book is here. So we have actually a 4-H rule book that provides all of the regulations. It talks about what dogs may actually compete. We also, because I think it's important to make sure we're mentoring for proper health care for the dogs, we are requiring them to have some health certifications. So, and Leah will talk about how that gets turned in a little bit. So that PDF of what that looks like is here as well. And then there's some additional information again with rally signs, descriptors, and signs. So we'll try to put a lot of resources for you guys on this page, so that you'll kind of be able to stay informed and be able to find the information that you need. The other reason that we kind of thought about why not start with Rally is that for clubs that want to do fun matches or host their own events, Rally is pretty simple. So you just have to have a big enough space. So like 40 by 50 or larger, and it just has to be on footing that the dogs aren't gonna slip on. And then here you can see their little sign holders. A lot of people attach them to cones, stakes in the ground, whatever works to essentially set out the course. And then you need to have a volunteer judge. And then we also have score sheets, official score sheets that will be used for the classes. And so ultimately these score sheets will have to be turned in essentially to the state office just so that we can track titles on the dogs and then be able to give the kids their certificates for titling and advancing through those levels.
Amanda has a question.
Okay, what is the question?
Can Clover Buds participate?
At this point in time, no, we are on 4-H age, so the 3rd grade or older. So not Clover Buds, although we can certainly encourage them to get older. Right? But so this will be if we'll have these available online as well. So we're still in the works of getting everything verified and on the website. But again, rally sheets, it doesn't matter the level. They're all going to be the same with the point deductions that the judge will use. And then these scores again will be, I will need to have them eventually for verification on titling purposes. Okay, back to where we're at. So again, it is pretty simple to host a trial. So I wanted to go through some of the class requirements so that people aren't like too intimidated by this. So we're just going to go through foundation and pre-novice. So here are essentially what's required in the first level. So this would be the starting point of a dog and youth team, unless they feel they are able to go forward and start at novice, or if your dog already has titles. If the dog has already achieved rally titles, he can't compete at a lower level. So the signs are halt and sit, right turn, left turn, about turns, about U-turns, the 360 degrees turns, slow, fast, normal, figure eight, and then call the dog front, and then you return back to the dog. So pretty straightforward. If you are familiar with obedience, the heel position in this is not as strict, right? So as long as the dog is close to the handler, they don't have to be with their shoulder glued right to the pants leg or anything like that. So this is a little bit looser, as you've seen the dogs in the videos, requirements that we're asking of. I do have maps that we're going to talk about in a little bit, so I may come back to this, but this would be an example of a foundation map. So essentially the dog would start, so the youth and the dog would start. They continue to the cone that says right turn, they would turn right, continue to the cone that says left turn, another cone that says left turn, an about turn, a right turn, go fast, go normal, halt and sit, and that's it. So again, especially because we do have kids that are only 9 when this process would start. And again, if you've never run a dog through a course, you may think like, oh, this is easy. But it can be a lot to remember. So that's why we're starting with just foundation places as a place to start, with essentially some basic leash handling skills, some basic turns, the dog accompanying of the youth. So that would be an example of a foundation map. Pre-novice, then the number of signs goes up. So 8 to 12 signs that they'll have to do, with 2 to 3 stationary signs. So they can have any of the foundation signs, and then a halt, sit down, call the dog to the front, and then the dog would return around either direction, a down and stop, halt, walk around the dog, halt, down, walk around the dog, and call front and return to heel. So these would be the additional skills that the dog and handler team would need to advance to pre-novice. And again, we'd ask them to do more signs. All kind of elements of just good leash skills, good basic manners and obedience on these dogs. So this would be an example of a pre-novice map. So again, there's more signs, a start, the 360 degree turn, an about right turn, a left turn, a fast, a normal, a halt, sit down, a right turn, a halt, walk around, a right turn, a call front to finish, and then the end. So just asking, can you do a few more skills and a few different types of skills with the dog, but all kind of elements of just good basic handling and obedience. And then this is a little bit more complicated. So we'll kind of come back to some of these maps here in a bit. Okay. So how we are starting is we are starting with virtual rally dog. The reason that I'm starting with a virtual option is because not every county or club may be feeling comfortable with hosting a rally event. So this is a way for folks to get started. And actually this became really popular with a lot of the dog clubs after COVID. So people still wanted to compete with their dogs. And so the organizations figured out a way to do that. And so that's how we're going to start, with the idea that certainly live events are encouraged. So we're not saying that's only ever going to be virtual, but this is a way for people to get started as everybody kind of gets their legs under them. So our what we're going to do is release new courses every quarter. So essentially 4 times a year, there'll be new courses posted that the youth can then practice and then submit a video. And so I'm going to kind of walk through it a little bit, and then Leah's going to help show us how this is actually going to work for youth to enter. But essentially, they're going to record their run and submit a video with an unlisted YouTube link. There'll be a fee. So you want to practice and then submit the best video before the term ends. And then those videos will be scored with feedback, and then we'll hold those scores. So again, if you get that 85 or above, you can advance on to the next level. So you will have the opportunity to title dogs through the virtual program as well as through live events. Even though it's virtual, again, I did say we want to make sure that every dog has that health requirement uploaded. And so that is going to be part of the virtual rally program as well. And that ensures that we have a record of that. And that way, if you are going to want to host or somebody wants to do live events in the future, we've got those health records on file. Again, just trying to make sure that our families are practicing kind of some basic health care with those dogs. So I wanted to show you, this is actually an example of what a virtual rally course would be. So the other videos I've showed you, dogs were at competitions. This is what it looks like if you're just doing it on your own and videoing it. So here you don't see any ring gating, nothing, no fancy setup. They have some orange cones, some signs, and then they're going to record their dog doing the course.
This is Lotus. She's a German Shepherd. This is a 6-foot-long leather leash. She is on a flat collar with a belt-type loop, and I have no treats or toys on my possession. Ready, guys? Let's go. Yep. Yo. Good girl. Yes. Steady. Yes. Yes. Still. Let me stop. Good. Yep.
So that's as easy as the process is. You can set it up anywhere, again, flat surface. They're using a parking lot video, and then they would submit their video for judging. So that is literally how we're going to approach doing this. Any questions so far? Everybody with me? Hopefully I'm explaining all this adequately. So to provide a little bit of extra fun, and again, the virtual way is a great way to start, especially I know within my dog community, we do have things where dogs are not comfortable in new environments. We have reactive dogs. And so this actually provides an opportunity for kids to participate, even if their dogs are not great around other dogs or don't have a lot of experience going to town, and still encourage them to do training and participate in the project. But What we do want to do is actually get the kids around each other and have the experience of doing live events. So we're going to start with an invitational. And so essentially, which Leo is going to explain here shortly, the top scoring dogs from our first quarter, because, well, we got to start somewhere. The top 25 scoring dog and handlers, regardless of the class that they're in, are going to be invited to an invitational. Okay, so this is also a pretty common dog thing. We have dock diving invitationals, rally invitationals, obedience invitationals, agility invitationals. So they do a lot of this, inviting these top dogs to come and compete all in one venue. So we're going to do the same thing. Oklahoma City Dog Training Club has agreed to host our invitational. So they're very generously donating the use of their facility for that afternoon. And so we will, so if the dog, let's say a dog got a 99 in foundations and they're one of the top 25 scoring dogs, we wouldn't expect them to run a novice course at the invitational. So they will run at the level that they are competing at. And then we're going to give prizes, because you don't go to an invitational and not give prizes. So this is to try to get kids excited about having some kind of fun competition, the ability to prepare ahead of time, and hopefully set a precedent of how we're going to do some of these events going forward. So pretty excited about that. And again, really excited that Oklahoma City Dog Training Club has agreed to host that for us. So how's it going to work? This is where I'm going to let Leah step in, and I am going to stop my share. So she's going to explain how youth are going to register through Z Suites. So Leah, if you want to take over. Oh, you're muted, Leah. Let me unmute you. Can we hear Leah yet?
Can you hear me?
Yes, now we
Okay,
can.
perfect. So we are going to register for the Rally Dog through Z Suites. As members, this is the enrollment system that we use. So hopefully you guys are fairly familiar with Z Suites. When you get into Z Suites, and I'm showing my Smurf example family here, you'll either click on the household or the individual that you're wanting to enroll. It doesn't matter. I'm going to go into the household, and then onto the left, you'll click events to see everything that is available to your household. Rally Dog should be in there, and this original format right here will give you documents. I do still need to upload. Nope, the course is in there. You should be able to find the documents, and you can click on one and it will be available for you to download. This particular one is the vaccination verification that you can download, have printed, or have filled out. And then when you actually get enrolled, you can upload it into your document or into the registration. Let me go back here. As well as some example videos are available right here. I will let you know too that once you get registered, you will receive an email saying that you're registered, and all those same documents and videos will be linked into that email for you to be able to go back to and look, so you don't have to hunt it in Z Suites every time. The registration is going to start August 1st. With the new year coming up, you will not be able to register until you are an active member in Z Suites. So as soon as you can get into active status, you will be able to register. Please remember that August 1, registration opens for the new program year, and you'll be able to register. You should be able to go ahead and see this until you're active, so you can still get to everything and talk to your county, get those dues paid. and get active. It'll be open through October 15th. That's when all your information must be uploaded and inside Z Suites to be able to be judged. $10 you can pay by credit card through this registration. I'll show you that a little bit more at the end, and you'll find some of those course pieces down here at the bottom as well. So they're linked up here on top, they're linked at the bottom. To get registered, you're going to click on the little red register now. And these are my two Smurfs that are active members. So they are the only ones that are able to register. Again, you can see all the same information right inside that. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to register Brainy. And this is going to be our handler and dog information. Brainy's already in there, but Brainy is also we need his name. We need to make sure that you know who that handler of the dog is going to be. You'll add your email address. I'm just going to add mine here. Daisy is our dog, if that is my actual dog, by the way. And then this is where you will upload the vaccination card. This can be uploaded later, but it needs to be uploaded before October 15th. So you will upload that file right there once it's completed, and then you will select your dog level, if it's foundation, pre-novice, or novice. Right here, you will type in your video link, your YouTube video link, so we can judge that. You don't need it at the very beginning of this. You can do that at a later time too. You can update your registration, but you must have it in there by October 15th when registration closes. Like Chris said, the handler can register more than one dog. So this is just a yes or no question. If you vote yes, you can add that additional dog. For our first competition, we are limiting it to 2 dogs. You can put your second dog in here. And that information, you will need another vaccination card for this particular dog, and you can select its skill level. We do have a couple of other forms that we want to we ask that you fill out. One is the rules and disciplinary, the code of conduct for each member. We have a public release form. You know, we're asking for you to give consent or not give consent. It's up to you. And then if we have permission to contact your youth. Now, these are part of the enrollment system too, so they should be already filled in blanks, but if you want to change that for that particular event, you can do it at this time. It is that simple. Then you're going to submit registration, and I didn't do everything, so let me rush through that real quick. That needed to be done. I think I'm good now. Nope. Oh, I need the vaccination card. Let me just put something in there. So you can't come back and do that at a later time. We need that vaccination card. There we go. So my registration is submitted. You can do the next person if you want. If you're done, you can click the checkout and it will bring you to this. At this time, since registration is not truly opened, those credit card payments are not available, but it will say TouchNet when you are ready to register and pay your $10. TouchNet is our credit card source. Paying in person is not going to be an option. It's just credit card only for this event. That's as simple as it is.
Questions? Leah did a great job of making this I think pretty easy, pretty accessible. So it makes sense to me. I don't know if that means anything, but
So when you go back to the very beginning and you see that Brainy is pending payment, or you want to register another member, you can go right back in there and you can register and you can pay. You can edit your registrations. That's when you can go back and add that YouTube link. So we could go ahead and get that posted where everybody can see it here before August 1, but registration will not be open till August 1. And it will close October 15th.
okay.
All right.
You can send a virtual video just to get judge feedback and not to compete.
So, so the question is, can you send a video in and have it judged but not compete? So unfortunately, no. So you can get feedback from your siblings, from other club members, but we are going to be taking the judge's time. And so that's kind of we need to account for that in our system and getting awards. So I certainly encourage you to get feedback from others, and you can practice the courses. So the courses will be posted online, and so all of that. Yes. So good questions, though. All right, I'm gonna share my screen again.
Yeah, and Chris, this pause, I wanted to just make a comment. I see in the chat that I believe Micah and Amanda are talking about setting up a county practice, and that is amazing. We hope that this leads to lots of counties wanting to do things like that. Just be sure and check in with your county extension educator. Let them know what you're planning on doing, as we do with all 4-H activities, so that they're well aware of what's going on.
Yes,
that's fantastic.
Yeah. Don't leave them out of the loop. So,
Another question.
Okay.
From Candace.
Mhm.
So your first video to compete with is due October 15th.
Yes. So we have to have those videos by the 15th so that we have time to score them and notify the 25 that are going to the invitational. And so and this is one of those, like, we're testing the waters. I have no idea how many videos we're gonna get. So like, so I'm assuming it'll all be okay. But I've got some friends that compete and rally quite a bit and judge. So I'm gonna be calling in from my dog sport community to get those videos judged. So we'll see. If we have 200 videos, I guess that's a great problem to have, right? Dr. Beck would love that. Okay, well, let's kind of keep going through a few more things here. So we did the demo. Just there's my little shout out. That's Mr. Torquey Boy. He just finished his POC a few weeks ago. So that's one of the titles you get in agility. So we really like titles. It's kind of a weird dog people thing. So, oh, Steve's giving me claps. Thank you. So he's a good boy. Also, I just wanted to make sure this is kind of the program that we're starting with, but we're going to provide other opportunities as well to try to grow the Companion Animal Project. So last year we held a Horse Project Volunteers Conference, and this year we're inviting the dog people to come with. And so that is on December 7th, and so that's appropriate for parents, volunteers, team leaders. So we'll have some information at the beginning of the sessions about, club mechanics, all these things like, can I host practices at my house? I don't know. Maybe Dr. Beck will tell me if that's right or wrong. And then have kind of split the species and do different workshops in the afternoon. So that's kind of our goal. And then we're also going to be inviting our dog people to join the horse people, because why not? For our communication contest. So we're going to expand, and they're not going to be in the same room, right? So horse horse topics over here, dog topics over here. So just providing another avenue for the youth involved in the dog projects to have other speaking opportunities as a way to grow their skills in the 4-H project. So not just about only dogs, but really developing the whole youth.
Another question from Amanda.
Yes.
Can Clover Buds participate in dog communication contests?
Still no. So contest is still limited to 3rd grade. So yep, they just kind of have to hang on there just a little bit longer. And so I'll be honest, Amanda, I'm not a Clover Bud expert because at the level that I'm at with the state office, I only deal with official 4-H enrolls and past that. So I'm not always aware of what's going on at the county level with their Clover Buds, just because kind of I'm in my lane, so to speak.
And Clover Buds, you know, are non-competitive activity, generally just county based on the Clover Bud level, and definitely as hard as we have to work to get that horse communications contest through, we need extra bodies when we combine the dog with this. So
yeah. And the whole slate of things are not going to be offered for the dog. So just so you know, you don't get to do, there's not the quiz bowl or the team problem. Like it'll be just kind of a one note thing to start with. So we have lots of volunteers to judge. I did want to also show you other opportunities, especially as kind of what came back over interest level in our needs assessment. People were really interested in manners and tricks. And so I wanted to let you know that AKC actually is really trying to promote youth involvement with dog activities. And so they have a lot of great resources and different types of events that are virtual as well. So they have home manners where you video the dog doing like good dog things in the house, and you can get titles for your dog's manners within the house, for doing tricks, etc. So I just wanted to pull up, AKC really does have a 4-H program that they are actively trying to help grow youth involvement. And so they actually do have a 4-H resources page. They have not only, the events that they put on, but they also have educational resources in here. So again, they have a whole page devoted to 4-H resources. They do have a dog project manual. It is Florida's, but it is actually kind of some instruction. They have information on how to get those presentations. And so they really are trying to do a great job of reaching out to our youth members. With the AKC 4-H program, they do allow titling opportunities that you saw in that one video where you have a junior handler number and you can track titles if that's what you want to do. So there's more information if that's of interest to you, but there are a number of different opportunities to participate in kind of the dog project that are not that you have to have all the equipment that you need for agility and all the fancy stuff, but really emphasizing teaching kids how to be better owners, how to have better relationships with their dogs, and kind of really do some basic training and good citizen work with them. So that's what I have. So now if you guys have lots of questions, feedback, I think now that I'm done talking, if somebody has a question, a long one, and you want to unmute and ask a question or feedback, I'm game to hear what you got.